get it, or has it arrived?
Supposed to be here Monday.
Cool.
Real men wear purple.
Yep.
That's my position, and I'm sticking to it.
Exactly.
And you got me the purple one, which is cool.
Yeah, I did.
Which is cool.
Like I said, real men
Wear
wear purple.
Wear purple, yeah.
We were having such a good conversation as well, and it wasn't even a blue screen crash. So I'm feeling as if I'm having driver issues, Anarchus, because I'm getting blue screens. And they've been happening ever since the latest Windows update, which was a couple of days ago. It was just a standard security patch.
Wait a minute. Let me check.
So I don't know.
Okay, here's the thing you got to realize about Windows. It'll get corrupted, and sometimes you'll have to go in and reinstall Windows fresh.
I was afraid you were going to say that, because that's one thing that I never want to do.
Nobody ever wants to do it.
Because I've got like a ton of custom settings.
Yeah. Have you tried to refresh it where your only thing that changes is your apps, but your files and everything stay intact?
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Just doing the system install.
Yeah, it's a system refresh basically.
Yeah. No, last time I did one was 6 months ago, so you would think I don't need it.
Yeah.
But I'm a power user, right? So I'm always doing shit on my computer, so...
You probably tweaked something that you were supposed to.
You know what? Maybe I did. I'm not even gonna deny. But, yeah, I enjoyed talking to ants. I hate it. I hate it when my system just freezes up.
Yeah.
So really happy for you, Anarchist, and like, I guess the reason I felt compelled to make a donation is because I know how passionate you are about Twitch and how much you give to the community. So I really wanted to find a way to give back to you.
And I greatly appreciate it, my friend.
No worries at all. I mean, you do your thing, and you can definitely do some longer kind of streams, but what people don't see is how much time you spend helping other creators. So you left a big impression on myself and Hannah.
You really did.
In the early days, like that guy that came over the other night, and he said, "Jeez, man, I remember when you guys had 23 followers. And for us, 23 followers is a big deal. You know, it still is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like, the fact we are where we are today is just surreal. And all because of the amazing support of people like yourselves, yourself and Ants and Mike. It's just been so cool. I mean, I know there are bigger Twitch streamers than us, that's for sure. You know, you got people rolling on thousands of followers, but we could not be happier with where we are right now.
Well, see, this is going to be my point on what you said. You've got so many people. Oh, sorry, I've got hiccups and heartburn. So many people out there that aren't real. They're just doing this for a reason, and it's not the reason you want to be doing it. And it don't matter if you're big, small, little, large. If you're, down to earth, you're, real, I'm going to support you. And that's the thing. You guys are real, you're down to earth, and it's enjoyable.
I mean, what do you make of guys like the Logan Paul and Jake Paul coming over here on Twitch? You would have thought they already had their own thing over on YouTube, right?
Oh, I guess it's the simple thing, and this comes from being poor. Me, I'm gracious with what I got, but it's the old adage: when you get something, you always want more.
Yeah.
I understand they actually haven't found a lot of success. I mean, they've got a baseline of success that's way bigger than ours, that's for sure, but they actually haven't found the growth that they were expecting.
Because it's a different beast. I mean, it's the same idea, but the way it's approached is completely different.
Yeah.
I'd agree, and I think Ninja said the exact same thing about Logan Paul.
Yeah.
Like, all good to be at 120% when you're cutting up those videos, but you have to sustain 3, 4, 5 hours of engagement. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas YouTubers are used to sprinting.
Yeah, a better way of putting it is like, okay, on YouTube, you're Mike Tyson, but when you come over to Twitch, you got to be Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. Oh, we're just so grateful, and I mean, I know for Ants, you can see her down there in the chat, she's just getting to grips with Twitch. She never even realized this community existed, but she's told us several times over already how much generosity and engagement there is in this community. She said that already.
Yeah.
Well, see, and I think what puts us apart is whether it be physical, mental, whatever, the disabled community, we approach things in a different direction even than most Twitch do. Like, to give you an example, I'm an introvert, big time. If I've got somebody to talk to, I'll talk to you and I can engage. But the moment nobody's talking, I get awkward and then I kind of, clamp down and don't, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. I think we all have a bit of that to some degree.
And gifted 2 subs, awesome.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So Ant's got a sub gifted to her for my channel, and I'm just wondering who the other gift was from. What channel were you in when you got gifted the second one, Ant? Was it for Mike's channel or? I love seeing people get gifted.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's really cool.
Oh, by the way.
Yeah?
In 10 days, it'll be 3 months.
3 months with our channel?
Of me subbing.
Nice, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man, good on you for tracking. How do you actually find out?
You go to your up up top where you can do the sub thing.
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Actually, I did that backwards. You go into. Actually, hold on. I did it without even thinking. Give me a second.
It's frustrating when you do it, and then you're like, "How do I do it?"
Oh, go to your page up top where it shows your name and it says online. Click the arrow and drop down and go to subscriptions.
Oh, right. So it gives you a play-by-play of where you're at with all your stuff.
That's cool.
Oh, Clone! Man, this is an OG as well. How you doing, man?
Hey.
How you doing? So, I've got a sub with Anarchus that is ready to renew in 8 days. Nice.
It's awesome. I love it.
That's cool.
You remember that I subbed, right?
Oh yeah, I remember.
How you doing with your sub numbers? I mean, do you focus on that stuff or?
Let's just put it this way: I do and I don't. I don't let it dictate, but at the same time, I kind of watch it a little bit, but I don't let it try to rule me.
Yeah, no. In the beginning, and I think this can be true for most streamers. You get really granular. You're watching every single follow. You're watching every single thing that happens. But after a while, you just gotta relax, and you've got to remember that people like Orc Lone, for example, they don't come to your stream because of your numbers. They come to your stream because of your personality and how you engage with them. So
Yeah.
So All Clone says, I've been good. What have you been up to, man? What have you been up to?
I'll be right back. I gotta go to the restroom and everything. I'll be back in about 5 minutes.
Yep, remember to mute your mic.
I'm doing it right now.
I come for the numbers, lol. I know you don't, All Clone. I know you don't. You come for the positivity and all the love. Nobody comes for the numbers. I don't go to any creator for any reason about their numbers.
Sometimes you think, oh, why has this person got mad numbers? Or why has this person got such low numbers? And it's really good when you get rated because then you happen to find out about other channels. But it's been really cool to meet you, Orclone. And
Orclone's donated a couple of times.
yeah. We're just so grateful for what you guys give to us, but it's also about what you guys give in the conversations and the when we actually get to know you guys, which is cool.
So going back to Ant says, I got one here and one over on Bruises. She's part of the Chronically Badass crew.
Oh, cool. Haven't met her before. Haven't seen her before, but that's cool.
I'd love to check out Bruises.
Yeah.
Should we look up Bruises and give her a follow right now?
Yeah.
Twitch.tv/Bruises. Let me see if I can spell that. I don't want to get it wrong. Bruises? Yeah, I think this is her. She is playing... Oh, she's hosting someone right now. Whoa, she's affiliated. No, she's partnered. Man, she is big. She's got everything worked out. Look at this shit. Give her a follow.
What kind of content does she do?
The shout out can only work by me. It's kind of an admin thing to do. Actually, you might be able to do it. It's the whole word shout out. So if you do !! shout out, you should be able to do it. Wow, she's a Kiwi? Oh, now I'm even more mad. She's partnered and she's Kiwi and she's awesome and she's a girl.
Where's she based?
No, she's not a Kiwi.
No.
Turns out she's not a Kiwi. Well, I'm not as mad now. See? Man, She's got someone with 64 months of subs. Jeepers creepers. Sorry about it, man. So should we shout out Bruises? Where's my spelling today?
So it's over 5 years someone's been subbing. Wow.
Oh, and she does play games.
Cool.
She last played DayZ, according to my bot.
Yeah.
And I am back.
So we're just doing a shout out. Don't know if you can see that in the chat. I don't know if you left your chat open, but I'd really appreciate it if you would give Bruises a follow, Anarchist.
Already a step ahead of you.
She does tabletop simulation. Simulation of what exactly? Hey, Mike! Mike Pullman is in the chat, everybody.
Hey Mike, how you doing?
What up, Mike?
Let's give a shout out to Mike. Mike is a streamer. Mike definitely is a streamer. He's blowing up here on Twitch.
It's good to have everyone along and just have a chat, you know.
I haven't crashed yet either.
Hope everyone's having a fabulous day, and
It's been at least 15 minutes since I last crashed. So Mike lasted IRL. Awesome.
excuse me.
Just chilling, watching the darts. Do you actually watch that? Darts tournament. Quite possibly,
God.
quite possibly the last thing I would watch on the sports channel. What are you?
Quite possibly the most boring sport ever.
Yeah.
But hey, for what it's worth, those guys get super amped. They get amped, like they're in it.
Yeah.
It goes something like this. As the hush grows over the crowd, Mark grabs his dart. He aims.
But man, when they land those bullseyes in there and they go into beast mode, bro, it's just like, rah! I love seeing that. But their purses, like for the tournaments, aren't they like a couple $100,000?
Wouldn't have a clue. It's such a boring sport, so it's just like,
Yep, so All Cologne says it best. The crowds are loud and lit as fuck.
yeah.
Could you see the Spaniards playing it?
Nah, I didn't. I don't watch that.
All you hear is speaking Spanish, blah 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 blah. Goal!
I don't even like. I know there's like this big strategy behind how you score it, and I know like bullseye is like the best you can get, but for some reason they don't always go only for that. Like they'll go for a 3 or a 9 or a something, and I haven't figured out why. Why not just go for the bullseye every time?
Yeah. I don't know.
To win the game, he just needs a 3. Can he get the 3? and then it's like 6 seconds of nothing happening. Bang! He got the 3!
Yeah, Mike. By what I understand, there's a certain score you want to reach without exceeding, is what it is.
Thank you for explaining that. So that makes sense why they go for certain numbers then, Jade.
You have to end on a double. See, now we're getting to a place where, 1, I don't understand, and 2, I don't really care. This is where ignorance comes in handy. More power to them though, but I'm much more a football fan myself, or as some other countries say, soccer.
Yeah.
See, I used to be a soccer fan when I was a kid, but me being the gentle giant and not wanting to hurt people unless I'm mad, I did something that scarred me, and I was like, nope, never going to watch soccer, not going to play it anymore, nope.
What'd you do?
Let's just put it this way. Before I learned to fear heights and stuff like that, I played soccer, and I used to be able to backwards bicycle kick, and I broke a kid's nose.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I was like, nope, never play it again. Nope, done.
But that happens though. I mean, come on, that was nothing on you.
Yeah, but you gotta realize, like, if I'm not angry, I'm the gentle giant. I don't like to see people in pain. So if I inflict the pain, I feel bad.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah.
Auckland says, my missus' dad is like 70 years old, Kiwi guy, and I watch it with him. So they watch darts together. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, if it helps people bond, I mean, just because I don't like it doesn't mean other people can't like it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Do you, man?
That's cool.
You people shouldn't give a fuck what I think. Honestly, it's just my opinion. Like, just because I don't like it, there's plenty of things I like that some people wouldn't like. I mean, I like big booties. Not everybody likes that. Not everybody likes that. It can be too much for them.
See, I'm a boob man myself, but that's beside the point.
You're a boob guy? Yeah. I'm more about the booty. I'm definitely about the booty. In fact, I've got my own name for it, don't I, Hannah? The
Yes.
bubble.
Yes, you do.
You can tell when someone's got the bubble. I appreciate the bubble.
You're all about that bubble butt.
Yeah, definitely. No, all clone is right. What I meant was bubble personality.
No.
You know that big booty. That big booty bubble personality.
Well, no, I think with me, I look at the face first, then I look at the boobs, then I look at the butt.
I look at their heart, Anarchist. How could you not do that?
Oh, I look at their heart too. Don't get me wrong. You could be the most superficial, best-looking girl in the world, but you're for a teetotal bitch. Excuse my French, Hannah. Yeah, don't bother me. Get away.
I tell you what, though, the pretty ones are always the most dangerous and unstable. That's what I've learned. Like, I've taken my value assessment on what's important to me down a few pegs. I look at their feet, says Auckland. Me too. I look at feet. Feet of it, you know.
What about feet?
They gotta have nice feet. Petite, clean, not all crusty and rhino like. That's what I'm into.
Oh my God.
I love a good sniff of some toe jams, says All Clone. You know, you gotta respect the feet, ladies. You know, you can't have those calluses all around. Look after them. They're precious. They are, though.
I'm just saying we got onto a random topic from
I'm
darts to.
Hey, if I can go into a nail salon and get my nails done, then people can look after their feet. That's all I'm saying. I mean, I would shave more often, but that's boring. Really is. I hate shaving.
See, I was lucky.
Lucky how?
I was a complete reject, but yet I got with a cheerleader.
Really? So in New Zealand we have this thing, like the popular guy in school is captain of the rugby team, and the popular girl in school was the captain of the netball team. Often those two people would interact, but where you were lucky enough to disrupt the order of nature, it was well worth it.
Yeah, I was the kid that would play sports, but I was more of the drama kid, and she was, more of the preppy, high class, better than everybody. And when we started dating, the school went berserk. They're like, "You're dating him? What are you thinking?"
Yeah, but now I mean, look at all the nerds these days. They're running Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Nerds rule the world.
They certainly do. How you like me now?
What about what frustrates me? I just suddenly thought of it when you said nerds. Your family does not understand pop vinyls, and other people have said, "Why do you have those dolls? Why do you have those dolls?"
Yeah, so fair enough. I collect pop vinyls.
Your daughter's mother's been like, "Oh, you hate those dolls, don't you?" And then Jad's daughter said, "No, they're cool."
This is just one I've got under the desk. There's a shelf under my desk. I've got the Ant-Man one there. Really proud of this. Really.
See, now you're talking my language. You're talking my language. Comic books. Hell yeah.
No, I'm all about the Marvel life.
When everybody else was like, "Oh, Superman," I'm like, "Nah, give me Spider-Man."
Yeah.
So, speaking of nerdy shit, did you know that Lego are working on an official Voltron set?
Oh God, Voltron! You just made me nerdgasm. My favorite cartoon of all time.
You've got to Google it, because what they've done is they've managed to license it from whoever owns Voltron, and you get to build all 5 of the lions, and they connect exactly like they do in the cartoon. Exactly like the cartoon.
There's a YouTube video on it, right?
There's many YouTube videos of it. People are reviewing the early prototypes.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So needless to say, I'm getting ready to lose about $500. $500 our money anyway. It'd probably be $250 or something your money.
Oh my God, those Lego Voltron. Oh my God, I gotta have it.
Are you looking it up?
Oh yeah, Lego Voltron. Oh, I gotta have it.
Yeah. So I'm gonna you know, in the coming days, I'm gonna start a funding goal, and and it's gonna say Voltron, and if I reach that goal, we'll build it live on stream. Like, I'll spend the 6-7 hours, whatever it takes to build it. We'll do it on
Okay,
stream.
now let me ask you this, and this is something we could talk about, and I never get anybody to talk about it, so this is awesome. Okay, there were 3 different types, well, 4. You had the original Voltron, the car Voltron, then you had the reboot that they tried to make, which flopped, and then you've got the Netflix Voltron that's in, I think it's 4th or 5th season now. Comparing the original 2 Voltrons to the current day Voltron, how do you feel that current day Voltron has handled the original Voltron?
No. Not a fan. Not a fan. I would always go back to the original material. I mean, I can't put my finger on it, but I knew that it was out on Netflix. I have Netflix, but in the first 2 episodes, it just didn't engage me. There was something too predictable and plastic about the storyline. Like, if you're gonna follow essentially the same storyline, then follow the same storyline. Don't try to tweak around the edges and say, oh no, it's all new, it's all different, but actually all of the circumstances are virtually the same. That doesn't work for me.
Well, the thing is, I would say this to you. I get you. The first 2 episodes were very slow, but it actually does build up pretty well,
Okay.
and the story does variate.
Okay, so on that basis, on the basis that I only stuck around for the first 2, I guess I'm willing to stand corrected.
Are you willing to go back and watch more then?
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Because of that?
Well, I
you
can't.
will.
I can't think of the character's name, but remember in the original cartoon, the original Black Lion Paladin died?
I don't remember that.
Well, I don't know if he died or what, but he just like literally quit being the lion and disappeared, and that's when the new guy took over.
And the new one was the green one, right?
No. The same Black Paladin, he disappears just like in the original series. So you think that the younger kid was going to take over. Well, the original Paladin comes back, and you find out that the one in the original, same character, but they change it to where he's half Gora. So he's not even full human. And he goes with a special Gora force that helps stop Lordon.
Oh wow. I don't think I was ever paying that much attention. I was just like, yay, robots.
Well, you got to realize, man, when I was a kid, when we would, elementary school, we would get there, that was the first thing we would watch.
At school?
You would go in for breakfast, sit down waiting for, school to start, and they would always have Voltron on, so you kind of got hooked.
Wow.
Let's go.
I think it's kind of funny how Twitch are hosting He-Man. Did you see they've got a dedicated channel for He-Man?
Yeah, and that makes no sense because the last time, well, if it's Twitch doing it, maybe it makes more sense, but anytime an actual streamer has tried, they get in trouble. No, you can't stream anime.
Yeah, no, yeah. Well, I guess they've got a license deal or something.
I'm guessing. I mean, look at it this way: Twitch is actually getting into mainstream sports now.
Mainstream? You mean like real people?
Yeah, like I think they hosted soccer this year.
Wow.
Shit. You mean the World Cup?
Yeah, they host, I think, the World Cup. They're talking about eventually having football on there. I mean, they're trying to move in to become a big powerhouse, not just games and stuff. And I think what happened was IRL is what opened the door.
And that's what they were doing on YouTube, like hosting like the Olympics. So Twitch is really trying to say, well, why can't we host, real games, real shows? Wow.
I want to see Twitch move to a place where obviously, live streaming is the bread and butter, but I think they should allow us to upload video. Like I'd like to see a mixture of live and pre-prepared content. I don't know. Would you like to see something like that, Anarchus?
Maybe not. I mean, look at it this way. Have you read their latest rules of what you can and can't do?
No. We got a link?
All right. Well, it's back in February, yeah, and I can get you a link. They had to revise it because back in February when they released the new rules, New Zealanders and Australians were pissed because you couldn't say the C word.
Oh, really?
And
that's part of our cultural identity.
Yeah, exactly. And also, the original stated rule when they released it was, as a streamer, you have to adhere to a strict dress code. If you can't wear it at a baseball game, you can't wear it at a restaurant or out in public, you cannot do it on stream. That's why men couldn't, go shirtless. But they went and modified it because there are, IRL streamers that weightlift. They're like, if you're weightlifting, then you can get away with it. Otherwise, you can't.
Yeah. Because I heard of a lot of women just basically going out right up to the camera and basically doing soft porn.
Well, I mean, you've got IRL streamers, females, doing squats on camera in such an angle where they're not doing squats to demonstrate correct technique. They're doing squats to show you something else.
Yeah, like Soda Pop's girlfriend at the time, which she ended up going to a mental hospital, was Legendary Leah, and she got banned for showing her vajayjay.
She what, bro?
She
Really?
leaned over and she says it was on accident, but she wasn't wearing panties. Number one, if you're going to be streaming in tight shorts, wear panties. Number one. And she showed, her roast beef. Sorry to put it that way, but she showed it and got banned.
And I mean, that's a permaban, right? Like, once you do that, you're done.
Well, no, because Soda Poppin' is such a big streamer, he was able to get her unbanned, but then she went into a mental hospital for a mental breakdown.
Why? Because she was too famous?
I think that's probably what it is. It's weird. They say that a lot of streamers get so used to the money and popularity that it goes to their head.
Yeah, no, that's why it's important to stay grounded. I mean, it's never gonna get like that for me because I think I'm always gonna have my day job and the things that I do, like streaming. As much as I love our community, don't get me wrong, but it will always be an extension of my life rather than become my life.
This is where we get to meet friends, We're not very outgoing people within our jobs.
Not in real life, no. This is about, this is extremely outgoing for us.
Yeah, and it's our time to actually just chill, chat, and, we get to have conversations. So it's cool. And we actually talked about this a couple months ago, me and Jade. We said anything that anyone does, whether it's a sub, follow, drop biddies, anything, even comments, we're going to be grateful for it no matter what. you know.
Oh, yeah.
God.
So it's great.
See, here we go, Inikas, because I worry about companies like Twitch and Facebook infringing on free speech. What is your position?
I think that if we put adult content on our stream, that we should have some leniency. Yeah, maybe not nude. Maybe they should reword it somewhat. But vocally, we should be able to say what we want to say as long as it's not hate speech, racism, or,
What is hate speech, though?
like calling black people the N-bomb, calling homosexuals derogatory comments, stuff like that. Otherwise, we should be able to speak our mind.
Yeah.
Hey guys.
Mike, you came in at just the right time. What? We're talking about free speech again.
Again.
My,
Hey bro, how are you?
I'm good, bro.
Thanks for that, Anarchist, because I completely agree with that. And, everyone has their own views, but, there's a difference between actually, someone being racist or negative towards someone. We don't need that. You can have your own point of views, but you don't need to be negative or be hateful against other people. So I agree with exactly what you just said.
Well, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, back in the day, gay meant homosexual or lesbian. But nowadays, you're sitting there, okay, something doesn't go your way. Oh, man, that's gay. You're not saying that it's a homosexual. You're saying it's stupid. But you say that on Twitch, you're going to have her breathing down your neck. Oh, you shouldn't be saying those derogatory comments. It's not a derogatory comment in that mention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's that content. It's how, don't just listen to one word, actually listen to the context of what people are talking about and what's going on.
And Doxus made a comment a couple of weeks back when he said the thing about political correctness, the thing about being sensitive about words, is that people will just find a different word. Yeah, it doesn't help at all.
And it's deeper with me, and I don't want to make any offense to anybody out there before what I'm about to say. I stand behind the lesbian, gay, trans community. I think they're mistreated quite a bit. Don't get me wrong. But when you have somebody sitting there going, I'm the wrong gender, blah, 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 I'm transsexual. No, you're not transsexual. You have a mental disorder. It's called gender dysphoria. If you're born with the penis and you like men, you're gay. If you're a woman and you're born with a vagina and you like girls, then you're a lesbian.
And gay.
Oh,
But you get my point.
Absolutely love you, Anarchist.
But
I absolutely hate PC.
I think there's something else too to that you need to add. It's got to the stage that individuals that in that community, they actually need to understand that there's nothing wrong if you like the same sex. If you like women, if you're a woman and you like women, nothing wrong with that. Great. If you're a man and you like men, that's your choice. Fine. You're you. That's cool. You don't need to change yourself to be a different sex to the sex that you like. And
you know what I don't
exactly
get?
right.
You know what I don't get? In New Zealand in the 60s, it was illegal to be gay. But the thing about that for me is, how do you know if someone had a gay moment? Like, how on earth did you police that to find that out?
Well, some people do have what's called gaydar. Like with my niece, I knew since she was 2 years old she was a lesbian.
But what I'm saying is, so back in the 60s or whatever, it was illegal to engage in homosexual activity. So the activity was what was illegal. It wasn't illegal to have a gaydar. How on earth did people get sprung? Like, what are you doing to spring people? How are you in their bedrooms like that?
Well, go ahead.
I guess you could say a lot more people, when they meet, instead of shaking someone's hand, they will give people a hug. But then if you saw a woman giving another woman a hug, or being really quite close by holding hands and actually touching each other, they would be grilled and be questioned, and then it would be seen as wrong.
But again,
that's what I'm thinking.
But again, my point still stands. The activity is what was illegal. It's not illegal. Yeah.
Because they were probably being flamboyant about it.
Okay.
Because let's be honest, not all queens, but a lot of queens, they let you know right up, hey, we're here, we're queer.
Well, that's the whole thing. The pride flag, if you actually look at it, it's very busy, isn't it? Like, there's not a whole lot of room to rest the eye, and like, this whole conversation, I agree with you, Anarchist. Like, you're entitled to be what you want to be, but for fuck's sake, like, I read something the other day, Jade. I think it was in one of the leadership papers from DSS. It was like, how do we cater for the rainbow community? And I'm like, well, what the hell does that mean? Can someone tell me what the rainbow community is?
So around that, I guess, to reframe the question, I mean, we talk about a lot of diversity factors within disability, right? Mm-hmm. And a point was raised that being part of the rainbow community is a diversity factor. So that's what I understand around that question.
Okay, so what? I just don't want to be wrong here. Like, what's your understanding of the rainbow community? Is it like LGBT? Is it?
Yeah.
Is it all them?
So it's an attempt to encapsulate the gender diverse community. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sort of curious of how that would be supported, but I mean, that's sort of neither here nor there. I guess I don't know. Like, can't we all just be people and get on with it?
Yeah,
I guess, Mike, to follow that, I think what has happened is it was found out with our report from NZDSN that our support workers, what percentage of support workers?
73%.
73% of support workers are female,
yep,
and older white women. Now, older white women, they would have been around in the era when it was wrong to be gay, wrong to be different, and you have a disability which is different, and then having on top of that, you live in the rainbow community. I think that's really the factor of how it came about, and actually going forward, I think that's what it is. That's what I'm thinking of. Just from the outside. I'm not speaking from Jade's words. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, completely. Actually, I'm just thinking. I remember about 3 years ago. It wasn't long before I moved out of residential, but there was a big thing going on there because a lot of the female clientele and the services, they flat out refused to have a male do their personal cares,
Mm.
which that's fine. But I remember saying to one of my former flatmates, I was like, imagine if me, a male, turned around in the sector and said, "Oh, I don't want any female doing my personal cares." I would be bloody up shit's creek without a paddle. You know what I'm saying, Jay?
But it's interesting because if you did start to take that position, that would create a supply and demand sort of situation
Yeah.
where we would need more males in the sector.
Yeah.
I tend to feel that women are just better at caring. You
Yeah,
know,
I would agree. Yeah.
it is actually my preference to have a female.
Yeah.
Whereas I can see for a disabled woman, the opposite may not necessarily be true.
Hmm.
Because there's that domination factor. There's that, you know.
Yeah.
We definitely, me looking at the outside, I see we need to have more males as support workers because I met someone a few months back and they said, I can't actually talk to my family about females and actually what I want in the future and how do I talk to them about just general guy stuff. And then I can't talk to my family, I can't talk to my female support worker. They don't understand. If I had a male support worker that was my age, around my age, wow, that would make a difference to my life and my support overall.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah, I just have to say though, I've only worked with one male support worker my whole life. So.
And I would like to say this on that, and it kind of ties into what I just said in chat when we were still talking about gender.
Yeah.
Just like gender, it is social construct. We have socially constructed in our minds that women are basically the nurturers, that they can only be the nurturers in the situation where that is inaccurate. Men can be just as nurturing as a woman. And
Exactly right.
that affects how we look at it, where men, I agree, there should be more men in the field, and we need to destroy that social construct.
And you know what? It doesn't just go ahead for a support worker in the disability field. It should be across all fields, so it should be more diverse and choices for other people. Yeah.
Well,
I mean, Hannah, look at. Sorry, go, Mike.
No, I guess like one question I was going to ask, like, what do you guys think about the whole gender equality in the workforce kind of thing? I mean, because like it's all very well and good saying that a business should have equal male versus female staff ratio, but like at what point are we hiring people just based on their gender versus what they're actually going to bring to the job? I think a lot of the campaigners for gender equality in the workforce are kind of missing that point. You know.
So I'm going to say something really controversial. I don't believe there is a wage gap. So my reason for saying that is because women choose jobs that work around their lifestyle, that work around their families. They often take part-time roles, flexible arrangements. When you break it up pound for pound, yes, they get less, but they're building it around their lifestyle. They're not actually getting less on an FTE basis.
But is that necessarily a choice that they're choosing per se, or is it because like are there more factors at play?
No.
I don't disagree at all. I think you're right, but
So I've got another argument. I've got another argument that backs up that argument. So businesses are all about efficiency and saving money. If women get paid less, on that basis, that would mean men would never have any jobs. Because if women were cheaper, you'd just go with all women.
I can see what you're saying, but at the same time, I'm gonna counter that with this. Okay, you were absolutely accurate with the fact that they take part-time jobs, that because of that, they don't get paid as much. But as we are furthering in humanity, evolution, and everything of that, women are less and less likely to want families and children. So that's where the wage gap starts to apply.
But I think my second point still stands.
Oh, it does.
So if the wage gap was an actual thing, then no men would have a job.
Well, it goes right back to the social construct you got to look at, though, Jade. Men are looked at as the burly, strong guy, where women are looked at, oh, you're the cutesy, you take care of your family type situation. That's another thought in it. It's not gender equality, it's more sexism.
No, I think we still have a problem because it doesn't matter how strong and burly you are when you're working at Google. It doesn't matter how strong and burly you are when you're working at Facebook. It doesn't matter how strong and burly you are when you're working for the New Zealand National Disability Workforce Agency.
And I'm going to interrupt you right there. I'm going to interrupt you because really you say what it is actually you have a family, you have a man and a husband, a wife and a husband. Now, the wife has baby, simply, has their child.
She doesn't have to, though.
No, let me finish, please, mate. Okay. What I'm saying
is
a woman is the one to carry the child, but she doesn't have to be the one who stays at home and has the part-time role. She could be the one that actually says, okay, I'm going to continue on in my CEO position. You stay home with the child and thanks very much, and earns a CEO wage, and then the husband then for the rest of the child's life will take a part-time role and be earning what some mothers choose to do for families.
No question.
Totally agree.
Totally
agree. That's what it's about.
And go ahead, Anarchus.
Hannah, I agree with you, but I want to counter one thing on to you though about this. Yeah. Okay, back in the 90s, women started the whole equality situation. Yeah. Women's lib. All right. Now, women's lib got so out of control that it gave birth to the psychotic feminist era where, as a man, you can't do anything without being sexist. Now, the problem there is it has caused a whole nother issue with gender equality. Now, because men are so used to that psychoticness, not every woman, but you know, these, oh, you shouldn't be able to change a baby's diaper without asking for his permission BS, that, you know, it started a whole new revolution, and that part is a woman's fault. That part of the gender equality, you see what I mean?
I definitely agree with you. I can't stand feminists. We're all individuals. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's about who you are, and just, you know, live your life. It's bullshit.
So
sorry to be so frank.
So hang on, guys. I gotta say something. So I agree with, especially with what Hannah said, and I sort of want to raise another point. Like, Because here in New Zealand we have a female Prime Minister who has just returned to work after having a baby, and it's been all over the media and rah rah rah.
Sure.
I would challenge any of you. Let's just say that Simon Bridges wins the next election in 20 whenever it is, and his wife or whatever gets pregnant, and he decides, I'm gonna stay at home and look after the baby for 6 weeks. I mean, can you imagine that?
Yes, I actually think there is a problem with
double standards.
Double standards of, okay, you understand maternity leave because the woman actually has to go through the birthing process, but men should be given the rights to actually have maternity leave to take off time to actually spend with the newborn baby.
Okay, so he's
everyone. If this were to happen, right, everyone would be saying, "Oh, no, he's not committed to the job, and he's letting National down, and blah blah blah." But with Jacinda Ardern, it's been painted like a bloody fairy tale story.
Yeah, so that's what I was gonna say. I actually disagree with Hannah that men should get paid parental leave. I actually think paid parental leave should be assigned to a couple. Like it should be.
Oh yeah.
It should be registered to you as a couple, and you choose who takes it. But I don't think the woman should get 9 months and the man should get 9 months.
Oh no, I agree with you. What I'm thinking is maybe the woman is actually going to take the paid 9 months, and maybe the man gets 2 months unpaid leave.
I'm just like, I take Annika's point around gender roles. Gender roles definitely exist. If you weren't willing to acknowledge that, you're a complete idiot. But I think around paid parental leave, I don't think men should get 9 months. That's my position. Men, like, as much as this comment is gonna grate some people, men were put on this earth to be the protectors and the providers, right? Or like we're physiologically built to smash things and build things. You know that's just what it is.
I agreed with you about the 9 months.
Women...
both shouldn't, but I really believe. Okay, guys, just to clarify, I am full female, but I.
Whoa, really?
Some people may think, man, she's sticking up for men. Is she really a man? Is she really a man? But I'm just saying, a man should actually have time with the newborn child, and it shouldn't just come out of their holiday pay. They should get that at a time if you've got a newborn child. I don't have kids myself, but I think, those first couple of weeks, that first month, it should be a choice. And it may be the first 9 months that you should be able to say, hey, I need to work a bit more flexibly, work from home a wee bit, and still get all my work done, but I need to be with my family a bit more. Something a bit more like that.
So we've got a comment from Ants. My brother-in-law took the parental leave after 6 weeks because my sister earns more than he does. And yep, I actually know a colleague of mine where she split her parental leave between herself and her husband. Like, she wanted to go back to work earlier, but she had the ability to keep that money rolling in so he could look after the child. And I think that's fine, but I don't think that men should be assigned parental leave. I think that's a step too far. We need to acknowledge the process that women need to go through to heal bond with the child, provide for the child, but that essentially has nothing to do with the man. They can share the parental leave, but I don't think they should be assigned their own.
You know, isn't this just the thing though? Like we're sitting here having this debate, right? Not even a debate, but a healthy discussion. Isn't this the problem though? Like in society, and you know, here comes another one of Michael Pullman's society today. But you know, it's like we can't say anything or do anything anymore without being, you know, chastised for it, and especially online. You know, the amount of times I've had people like around the sexuality topic, you know, you can't speak about it. You're not part of the LGBT. You're not lesbian. You're not gay. It's like, well, fuck you. Like, I'm allowed to talk about sexuality for people, and just because I don't fit a certain community doesn't mean I can't speak about it, especially when these communities are so bloody publicly talked about these days.
How the hell? Okay, hold on a second. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Go ahead.
How the hell do they not? They expect you to not know about it unless you talk about it. That's completely ridiculous. Oh, you can't talk about it because you're not gay. Well, you know what? If we don't talk about it, I'm never going to learn.
Yeah,
Exactly.
and what I would say is, you know, Ants has been really supportive and I think very lenient with the rest of us crew and sort of guiding us to build our understanding around those communities. I think there are other people out there that would be much more stomping on our self-esteem to the point where we can't learn and grow. But I would say Ants has been really helpful in that regard. And I'm not just saying that because she's in the chat right now. I think it's really important to acknowledge that there are some individuals out there that have a really balanced view of the fact we are trying to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, excuse me for the language, but it's just, you know, like, I'm like genuinely concerned about where we're going as a society, because people seem to like say and do things, especially online, that are very I don't know if the term's visceral or whatever, but you know, they wouldn't do that in real life. And it's like, this might be controversial, but I'm a believer that you should be the same person online as you are in real life.
Do you think that's a realistic expectation, though?
I do, because we have we know what we're putting up online when we type it, don't we?
I mean, I guess it's different for me, you, and Ants because we're literally content creators. Like we're in the video space, so I'm literally putting myself online. But I guess for those bloggers and those trolls that hide behind screen names, they really don't want to be seen.
Like, what's the point in going to that level of energy just to do that? Like, isn't it? Don't we have better things to do with our lives?
I agree, 100%.
Mm.
And I think to come back to your earlier point about being afraid of where we're going, you know, harking back to the wise words of Martin Luther King, I'm gonna judge people on the content of their character. I don't really like playing identity politics. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, purple, yellow, gay, straight, lizard, whatever. If you're a dick, you're a dick, and I'm gonna call you a dick.
Yeah.
And one thing I wanted to say, and I've been, you know, waiting to say it. there's a thing that annoys me. Like, if you look at 10 years ago, well, not even 10, maybe 20, 30 years ago, oh, you're a man? You know how to cook? You're a sissy. You're gay, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
No. As a man, I think you should know how to cook as much as a woman. I think the roles should be interchangeable in ways. You know what I mean?
I mean, my only response to that is if you want to eat, you better learn how to cook.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, on that, but, you know, there's no hard and fast rule who has to be in the kitchen. And you know, one could argue that you're merely trying to emulate your mother by having that expectation, you know, and that's kind of weird. It's very Freudian, isn't it?
My mother's deceased, but she'll tell you if she was alive, I'm a better cook than she ever was.
Okay.
Well, certain foods, put it that way.
Point taken.
So interesting. So very interesting.
But you know, exploring your point, Mike, about being afraid to speak, like this whole free speech thing. I mean, it blew up again today on Twitter because apparently the power station in Auckland has backed out in their deal with Lauren Southern.
Yep.
And that other guy, and the absolute snowstorm of congratulations to the power station. I mean, come on, guys. So, what I take this to mean is free speech is all good as long as you're a liberal.
What I take it to mean is, this might be controversial, but I maintain it's true. I think in New Zealand, and again, I'm going to draw a comparison to the sector that we're involved in. I think that how would I put this? It's not that we don't want to be challenged. I just don't think we're comfortable with the sort of challenge that is so in your face and you know doesn't mix its words, and you know I don't think we're comfortable with that, and we need to be. You know, I don't agree with what these Canadians are saying, but
I don't necessarily either, but I will step up with a fact check to say all of the things they're being accused of in the media don't actually exist.
But one thing I gotta say too is that I don't necessarily agree with them, but I'd agree with Jade. The thing is, it was alright for Eminem to come over to New Zealand, do a concert,
talk about raping
drugs,
his mum.
rapes, you know, he's having gang members go to his concert, pay to go, and it wasn't hard for him to get a venue, and you know, he was able to do that. A lot of negativity has come out within his rap. I love rap. Go rap.
Yeah,
but,
I love rap too.
You know, he can come, but they can't because they're talking about something.
And they're conservative.
So, you know, people are like, oh, it's hate speech. So, we've got rappers that can come and talk about rape and sex and drugs and violence.
You know
we
what?
need to look at that.
With all the talk at the moment about, you know, hate speech and fake news and all this sort of stuff and crackdowns on, you know, what Facebook are doing and stuff, I think the definition of hate speech is actually getting wider and wider by the day. And where in the hell does it stop?
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's just ridiculous. Like
I asked Anarchist what his definition of hate speech is, because I think if you go back to the First Amendment, and you know, again, I have to say for our audience, we have no constitutional right to free speech, but merely looking at the basis of the American Constitution and the First Amendment, there's virtually no limit. Free speech is free speech.
Mm. Mm. So
mean,
that the power station isn't owned by the council, is it?
No, it's a private organization, and now they've backed out of the deal.
I wonder how much money they got for it from Phil Goff, but yeah, anyway.
I'm willing to be corrected, Anarchist, if I'm not correct.
Okay, to explain to you hate speech, the way that I look at hate speech is this: anything that would incite violence or to purposely inflict danger or destruction upon another person, whether it be their race, creed, or sexuality.
Okay, so what I take that to mean is if you say shoot that N-word, that is hate speech.
Correct.
But anything by that is fair game.
As long as it's not, to destroy or hate, it's fine. I mean, comedians do it every day. It's to joke around. I mean, look at how many comedians poke fun at their own race.
Mm.
But is that hate speech?
I think not really, because I think you as a human being, if you can't pick out things that are inaccurate or wrong with your own sexual preference, race, or creed, then it's going too far. There should be a line where, hey, you ever notice that as a white person, we're too uptight on this or blah, blah, blah. You see what I mean?
Yep.
Mm.
I mean, I get it. I'm just exploring the concept. Because
I agree.
I'll say it again for possibly the 100th time on my stream. New Zealand has no constitutional right to free speech. None.
But I was brought up believing that our country was free and we're all about the diversity of different ideas.
Sorry to disappoint you, madam.
I know that that is not true, but I'm saying that is how I was brought up, that we had that it was alright, and it was like in schools we're like, we want to hear your passions, we want to actually in my school we want to hear your creativity and the difference and the growth and your learning. So, but I knew that once I recognized I was at it, my schooling, I realized that it wasn't a law, it wasn't in policy.
Mike?
Yeah, I'm really been wanting to say this for a long time. You know how a few weeks ago I was talking about the fact that we're not actually doing diversity and free speech. Remember when I said that?
I don't exactly, but I do recall that you've talked about it, yes.
Have you ever noticed, and I'm sure you have, that in our community, the disability community, whenever it comes to the message that the mainstream are hearing, have you ever noticed that the narrative is controlled? Like it's not an open narrative?
Give me an example.
Well, every forums, for example, forums and, events and all this sort of stuff, there's always somebody there saying, we're here to do this, we're here to represent these views and all that. But it's not open. It feels like it's kind of, there's a certain message that they want to promote, and that's that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't thought this all through yet. It was just something I thought about.
Yeah, so
But do you kind of get what I'm saying?
So I'm going to use reflective listening, and I'm going to say what I heard you say was that in public forums, you find the conversation to be really rigid and not allow for civil discussion.
Yes. And I'd love you to tell me if I. It's just one of these inside things I've got on my brain at the moment.
So then, let's say I take your point. I'd still like an example of where you were when this happened.
An example would be. Well, it depends what you mean by public forums, because like it seems like all the events that I've been to with you and ones I've been, they've been very disability sort of centric and not really open to the general sort of public kind of thing.
Sure. So, but
Yeah.
my question still remains. What's your example? Tell me one place that you've been where you felt really uncomfortable.
Just
one.
Maybe the NZDSN, certain parts of that conference, it was all the disabilities, providers and.
Okay, so I can work with you on
Yeah,
that.
maybe I need to think about this more before we talk about it.
No, I can work with you on this example, and this is why I was pushing for an example. I guess in the example of NZDSN, you know, they were showboating during that conference. They were on show for the ministers. They were on show for the Associate Minister of Health. They were on show for funders, like, dare I say it, Tipo, for example, right? They were on show.
Yep.
So of course it was going to be very flashy, very controlled, very above board.
I guess another thing too, what Mike is saying, providers are going to these conferences as their professional development, but they're not actually sending, they might not, or this is an assumption, they may or they may not, this is an assumption, they're not sending individuals with lived experience from their communities that could be on their boards, they could be a part of the providers. They're not sending someone, not hiring someone and then having somebody with lived experience actually go and actually then have those questions, have the hard questions asked and actually take that learning back. It's professional development. They're learning, so this is what I do, but not actually reflecting, so that wouldn't actually be right for a person with disability.
So
that's sort of what I was.
I just want to jump in. I don't know if you guys are watching the chat, but it says usually forums have some sort of scope that they are working within, and I agree with that.
Yeah, but that's the thing. That's sort of what I'm saying. It's like, you can argue that NZDSN maybe wasn't the place for that, but like Ants just said, most forums have a scope and it's what they want to talk about. But who's making these decisions? Like
they are.
Well, yeah, but how diverse are the voices around the tables where those decisions come from? I mean, I haven't seen one forum for disabled people about sexuality, for example. What about, like, we've got a huge problem with housing at the moment, right? So, what about a forum about that?
There was one. There was two of them. DPA did them both.
Well, that's the first I'm hearing of it. You know what I'm saying?
Do you get the emails?
I get some of them. I get the exchange, whatever it's called.
Yeah, they were in the exchange.
On like upcoming forums and events in the Mid Central, for example, I mean, what you used the words earlier, controlled, and you know, like what sort of type of forums are they going to have down there, and are they going to be sort of open to, you know, the questions about the system and perhaps even
think-
outside the scope of what the system's going to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, am I just not making sense?
I think Ants is a good one to answer that, because actually I know that they are having good discussions between
Yep.
the community.
Yep.
It's not about a provider running a forum. It's about actually a person with lived experience running a forum about what they need, what they want, what's going on, what are the issues. Hey, and then they'll go back next week and somebody will come along totally different, and then they'll ask the question, oh, what is this about? And then they'll go right back to the beginning, and then they'll do it for parents separately, and then they'll have providers that will be freaking out. Are we going to lose our jobs? Having their own forums.
So coming back to the chat, and yeah, definitely I don't want to put Ants on the spot, but I don't know if you would be available to come on the mic. It would be a really beneficial discussion for all of us, because I'm not personally a part of day-to-day operations in the Mid Central, so you know, it'd be terribly inappropriate for me to speak on it. Just coming back to the chat, which is why in some ways we are wasting our time just working in the disability industry. If we want to win the hearts and minds of the general community, we need to be having conversations with the wider community. That's from Ants. She also says, we are already having forums. We are talking about wider issues as well as the system transformation.
Yeah, that's cool. I mean, and I'm not trying to like target the Mid Central or anything. I'm just, you know, I'm very passionate about it.
Yeah, what is your passion about Oktoberfest?
Like I've said to you, you know, ensuring, well, not even ensuring is probably the wrong word, because it is going to take a while. You know, there are going to be hiccups, but just making sure it's as equitable as possible. What I mean by that is, you know, if somebody, we're going to go back to the high needs discussion, if they want to, you know, be supported in the new system and they need one-to-one support, maybe up to 24 hours a day, and they want to move out of a residential service and they may have found an accessible unit, then explain to me why that can't happen. You know what I mean?
The only
the discussion that you and me were having the other night. What about people in the mid of the table versus the lower? You know, like people like you, Jane, like you said. You know.
Yeah, the only thing about the high needs discussion, Mike, and I guess we need to continue to have a civil, robust debate about it, is that there is a finite resource. So you know, and I know, because I've provided you with the documents and the links, that there is $1 billion in disability. 1 billion, and that is all, right?
Mm-hmm.
So with that 1 billion, 80% of the money already goes to the top 20% of people, right? And like I was trying to illustrate to you the other night, we're already in a situation where conditions like epilepsy, like Tourette's, like chronic conditions are not covered at all. So while I would never...
Oh my goodness.
We got a subscribe. Fatism over on YouTube, thank you very much. While I would never want to see, you know, people with very high needs not have their needs met, it's sort of like, how do we do it? How do we give you 24/7 support when people like that guy on the video I sent you the other night get nothing? They get nothing, bro.
Yeah, but that doesn't take away from the person in the residential service who, you know, is wanting to do what they want to do. Like, I totally agree with what you're saying.
But we've got a finite resource.
Not the problem of the person. It's not the person's problem. That doesn't help. That doesn't help. I'm sorry, but it doesn't help the person. And I know because I used to live there. You know, I knew what went on. I saw the abuse that went on. It doesn't help that person who wants nothing more than to get out of there. It doesn't help them. It doesn't help their mental health.
And
doesn't help their life.
The issue,
if that's what they're like, we're talking this new system, right? About people living the life that they want to live. If this is the life that they want to live, and someone's going to come in and say, no, you can't do that because there's
no. So I need to jump in because
it's not going to be that problem.
I need to jump in because I don't necessarily disagree with you. Finances are not that person's problem, but you know what is all our problem? The fact we have a limited budget.
Exactly.
And I just wonder about the guy. You know, let's say there was a New Zealand-based person with that level of Tourette's, shaking so violently, you know, he could basically tear a limb off, right?
Yeah.
Let's say there was someone like that in New Zealand. Currently, Mike, that individual gets nothing. You said on your show the other night that is no quality of life, right? And let's say that all the rules were the same. That he, by smoking weed, he could reduce his shakes.
Yep.
So in order for him to have any life at all, he has to break the law 3 times a day.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't disagree with you at all. Your case is clear. I actually agree with what you're saying. Budget is not an individual's issue, particularly because we live in a socialist health environment. You know, that was our fault. It was our fault we never invited insurance companies to be part of the discussion to drive costs of medication and services down. That was our fault. We're in socialist health. That's it.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hear what you're saying, like, and the fact that these conditions aren't supported is bloody criminal in itself, Jade. You know, and it's all very well me sort of sitting here and saying, well, why can't we support everybody? But why can't we support everybody? These are, you know, they're people. You know, and you go into a residential service and tell somebody who's getting abused 5 nights a week by a certain support worker and want nothing more than to move out, but they can't for a number of reasons. You go in there and tell them, sorry, you can't do this because there's not enough funding, or we might be able to sort something out, but you're still going to be living in a group situation. The people do not want to be in a group situation.
And then you've got Tiny, who was over here last night, reminding us that, you know, we provide $1.7 billion of international aid money every year.
Yeah.
And
It's like
And Mike.
Sorry,
Sorry,
mate.
I didn't
Go.
mean-
Yeah.
You got to realize that it's the sad truth. You have the poor who, because of the way governments are, we get poorer and poorer. But you also
Exactly.
have the rich who basically they're rich, they made their money, they don't feel that you deserve their money, and they're not wanting to pay for it.
Mm. So how much are people in the new system going to be paid in their annual salaries? That's my question. I mean, I'm sorry.
I
You
don't
want
know
you want me to be real? I'm being real right now. You
Okay.
go into that residential service and you try and tell that person that they can't do that, and we wonder why the mental health and suicide rate is so high. Come on now.
I just want to say something though, Mike. You're saying residential, no one will be able to get out of residential. I disagree with you because we actually know of several people that have chosen now to live a social model for their child. They've said, right, they have managed to find their child, their individual, their 20
their
something.
family member.
Their family member has chosen to actually live with flatmates that have varied disabilities, and through that they've been able to pull their funding together, and they've got 24/7 care support, and it's their choice. They've all got this, some sort of need, and so residential. You won't be living in residential because you have to. You'll be living in more flatting situations, and you'll be able to say, okay, Mike Pullman, you've got this amount of hours, you got this much money for. Well, we only need one night staff. Okay, great. All of you should have night staff. Well, we only need one night staff because he's the only one who actually wakes up, and he's one on call. So hey, we'll be able to shift funding around, and we'll actually be able to go out and do more things, and hey, lotteries could give us a grant for a van, so we'll live more as a family, as a house, more together as flatmates, friends.
Well,
So
that's the exact situation that I was in when I did leave residential, because I went flatting with another guy who was also under Enabling Good Lives, and because we were both living together, we could have night support. He's now moved out, and now I'm not funded for night support. So it's like, that is an option, but some people don't want to live with other disabled people. You know what I mean? Like, and if they choose to do that, and they manage to find a property, and the infrastructure issue is a huge part of this. But if they find it and they need that care, well, But Jane and Heather, you're too, like these other conditions that affect, far worse, that guy in that video.
Yeah.
I mean, but this is why we all need to be pushing, not pushing might not be the right word, but advocating for more investment, more support. Because it's a drop in the ocean. It really is. And I'm not trying to.
I could say, Mike, that I could speak from experience, and speaking on behalf of me is that I find that my epilepsy is more of a disability than my visual impairment.
Yeah.
Now, I will not get funded at all for my epilepsy, but it is a much harder thing on me and for me to live my life. So what I'm actually thinking is I'm waiting and actually gonna wait for EGL, systems transformation to start and actually start being right for those individuals, and then I'm going to actually say something, because funded family care will change, and my thing is long-term health conditions, chronic conditions I'll be pushing for those to be actually put within systems transformation, as well as, you know, those people that fall between the cracks. Do they fit with ACC or do you fit with MOH? What is it? So
Just want to come to the chat. Ant says, okay, gotta head off again, guys. Take care and stay safe, everyone. Have a good stream, Farafano. I love that.
thanks, Ants. Love it.
I love
You
that.
have a great night. Get better.
Jay's gone very quiet, and I know what that means when he goes quiet. So
No, it's just like I want to make the point again, Mike. I think you and I are actually in total agreement. You were framing it earlier as if you needed to take a stand with me, but I actually agree. What I'm saying is that currently there is a finite resource. There's $1 billion, and we already spend it very easily, with 80% of the resource going to very high needs people.
And I see, okay, we get system transformation going, we get the government, the rest of New Zealand saying, yay, we'll spend this $1 billion on individuals with disability. Once that's approved, then that's when we say, okay, you're going to be cutting down budgets from everywhere else and adding in chronic long-term health conditions. And actually, not everyone with a disability actually wants to live with each other. And also, you know, you saw it yourself. Julianne Genter said, we want to learn, try and adjust. And they want to know things that go wrong. And if that means spending more money. So that's when the time is, I think. We add in those things. We get the hearts and minds of our country and we say, okay, more money needs to be going into this area because they don't understand.
And one more thing, Mike. So my challenge even remains, like I saw you tweet the other day asking about free buses. And I was like, well, I think there's a broader conversation to have. Like, I don't necessarily disagree with disabled people getting free buses, but where is that extra resource going to come from?
So there's one thing to that. That actually all came about because there's a woman here in Hamilton. I'm doing a story on her actually, and she's campaigning to the council, but the council just haven't listened to her. So she's actually got a petition, and I just did that to put the feelers out. But look, I really want to get this off my chest because I know that the way I've sounded tonight's kind of like, well, why can't we have this and why can't we have that? And, you know, I get that there is limited resource, and I understand that, you know, the people in New Zealand have worked fucking hard to get to where we are, and I understand the hard truth of it all. So this is a long game, you know. This whole thing, it's an absolute long game, and you know. But this is just what I like to do, you know. I want to have these conversations about how we can get it for as many people as possible. So, yeah, I just want to sort of say to your audience, you know, I hope I didn't come across as petulant, if that's the right word.
No, I mean, we appreciate your challenge, but at the same time, you know, we've got to, as a community, we need to be able to answer those questions. Like, I'd love to be able to go to government and tell them exactly how we're going to pay for it. I guess me consistently asking you those questions is to hopefully drive some energy from yourself and my audience around, how actually do we pay for it to ensure that people experience equity of access to the new system.
Hey, Mike, you can maybe use your platform.
Yeah.
You know how you got a few people from states watching? Maybe you
Yeah.
might just start talking about their lovely president, and maybe they could ask Trump.
Yeah. Exactly. And I think we talk and debate so much about the whole money side and who's going to pay for this and that. And I reckon that's the saddest thing about all this, because at the end of the day, like, we're not trying to buy disabled people Ferraris and Lamborghinis and ambulances that have fucking a disco inside them. It's just we're simply trying to get what is fair and equitable, and I mean, the people don't have a choice to have these disabilities, and nor do their whānau. And I mean, I was thinking today, Jane, you should not have mentioned the family funded care thing, because my God, doesn't that just go against the principles of NGL? But anyway.
Oh, it does. Absolutely, it does. and I've been really quiet about it because I've been waiting till I could come to the community with a solution. But I guess if anybody catches my video on demand, they will see that actually we're still working on that piece. And
no, I'm not going to write a blog about that. I've told myself I would stay away from it.
Nah, I mean, look. What I'll say to our people is, it is a problem. We're on our way to solving it. Particularly in the Mid-Central, where they have the most clout right now. Ant and her team are putting a memo, a letter together for the ministers outlining the issues, and, as I always appreciate, some possible solutions to get around it.
Yes.
But we could get really deep. We could get really deep and say I think the biggest disadvantage we have around policy and getting the policy decisions that we want is for the fact that there is no disabled people in Parliament. None.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe that's something we need to put a bit more energy in.
We know that Sasha's team is the only team that does have individuals with lived experience. Does the rest of the Ministry of Health actually have individuals with lived experience? There may be a handful, but Sasha's team, half of them definitely have lived experience, and yeah, we need to. And it doesn't just need. I'm not just talking about Ministry of Health, MSD and MOA and.
Bloke says Jade should run! Exclamation mark.
Hey bloke, how you doing?
And then he says, "You got my vote, buddy." Well, I haven't even run yet, but I appreciate it.
Thanks, bloke. How you been, bloke? We haven't heard from you in a long time.
Anyway, guys, do you mind if I take my exit stage left?
Nah, not at all. Thanks for being around. Really appreciate it.
Mind, I wish you would stay.
I might get Jade banned or something. I'm way too passionate.
No, you won't get me banned, and if you do, I'm sure Ennicus has got a contact in customer relations or whatever it is.
I'll just call him up and Ray telling him, "Hey, you're not fair." Blah blah blah.
Yeah. No. I got an hour. I'm just gonna chill for the next hour or so. So yeah.
That's cool. No game today?
No game.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
sorry, rugby, you mean?
yeah.
Nah, tomorrow night.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was a weird that you were around on a Friday.
Yeah, no. I'll be out tomorrow. Don't worry, you'll get a stream without my awful voice tomorrow.
Awful voice. What do you mean?
You know this voice?
Yeah, what's going on with you?
What do you mean?
Like, are you sick or?
No, I'm fine. I'm actually, I don't know. My body's in a weird place.
Okay.
It's my time of the month.
Yeah,
Oh,
fair enough.
okay.
I
Yeah,
thought it was.
men suffer from PMS. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise.
Yeah.
Yeah, where's my chocolate and my you know, M&Ms.
Exactly.
Well, good talking to you, Mike. You may not realize this, but you know, I think there's huge value in our robust discussions.
Yeah, no, I think so too. The more people we could get involved, the better.
And I look forward to using these platforms in my new role with Manawa Nui around engagement. So a big part of my role going forward will be engagement. So there's a possibility, nothing set in stone, that in the future you may see sponsored streams from me. And
That's awesome.
there'll be an opportunity for like everybody to get in the Discord. I'd like to see 10, 15 people. Hopefully speaking one at a time.
Yeah. Alright, man. I'll catch you guys. Good to talk to everyone, yeah?
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Have a great
Cool.
night, Mike.
You too. Thanks, Atticus.
No problem, bro.
Cheers.
Hoo-wee!
Good discussions. Good discussions.
That was really good. Really good. Really appreciate having Ansel along for that as well.
He gets heated, but he's got points.
He does, and did you notice, ladies and gentlemen of the internet, how the discussion remained civil? And did you notice how people can disagree on points and still be friendly?
That's debating.
That's very rare in today's society. I disagree with you. Off with your head is the usual position.
Especially from Mr. Pullman.
You're a bigot. You don't know what you're talking about.
So I think it's really improved, and you know, you've got a few examples, Jade, of few people, you know, yelling and screaming and disagreeing in the boardroom, and then they're like, right, walk out the door. Right, we're gonna go for a glass of wine now. Great.
Yeah, and the opposite is true as well. I've had people like, you know, it needs to be said, like, when I'm advocating for the disability community, I can be ruthless, and I mean cold-hearted, especially in boardrooms where I know I've got leverage and decision-making power. I just let it all hang out, you know what I'm saying? And I've left some of those rooms and people have been like quaking, shaking, thinking that I have a personal problem with them. I have no personal problems with anybody. I'm just there to get shit done, and nothing I ever say or do is personal. Nothing.
It's only personal when you say that it's personal.
Yeah.
I personally do not like.
And I think you are which I never do in the boardroom. You never take it to that level. You know, it's you talk on the policy, you talk on the facts, and leave it at that. That's what you're supposed to do.
and half the time you hope you walk out and you have your last one and have a drink. I don't drink, but have a catch up afterwards, relax, and if that's your kind of thing, and it's not negative at all.
So yay, that was really cool.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
And we haven't even crashed once. And guess what was the only thing we changed? The webcam. So my webcam is buggy as shit. So
Yep.
You know how I was boasting about my 4K webcam, Anarchist? Don't get
Mhm.
one.
So
Have you checked the memory usage on it by any chance? Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
I don't exactly know how to do that because it doesn't have its own
No.
standalone helper. Like, you know.
No, I mean, are you looking to see how much like RAM it's using off of your resources themselves?
In OBS or just standing alone?
In Windows.
It uses practically nothing. It's
You
more
might just-
of a memory glitch. So there is definitely something wrong with the driver. I think Logitech need to get across the driver because it's only Windows 10 people that have updated to the latest seasonal update that are having problems. The creators update.
Yeah.
So only people that have done that update have the issue.
That stinks.
Yeah, so I think for the time being, we are going to be back on the C920, but it's not exactly a lacking camera.
Well, I'm joking when I say this, but if you want to send me that 4K, I wouldn't complain.
All it would do is glitch, honestly. It wouldn't do anything for you.
Probably so.
What platform do you use, Anarchist? Windows?
Windows
or...
10.
Yeah.
I know on good authority that bloke uses Linux.
Yeah.
He uses Mint Linux, and I love meeting Linux people. You know, it's such a disruptive thing to be using open source software.
Yeah.
So big ups to bloke. He's using Linux Mint version 19.
Wow.
I got to pick at you about this. I'm sorry. But Windows, what other operating system is there to use?
You're not an Apple man?
I have Apple phones, but other than that, nah.
Yeah.
Interesting fact, the Apple infrastructure is based on Unix, which is a form of the Linux kernel. Just nerding out here for a second.
Yeah.
So, you know, and Linux is on 99% of all the phones that exist in the world because of the Android platform. And Linux is also used on most home appliances these days. There aren't many home appliances with Windows on it though. Servers, yeah. So I'm running a server right now based on Linux to send my Scream to 2 places at once. I think I've mentioned that a couple times. Oh, Hannah, you weren't here the last time I was on, and were you here when Anarchist told us what shirt he was getting. Oh, you were, right? Yeah.
Which is cool. Really cool.
Real men get purple.
Real men get purple. Yeah.
Yes, you got several purple t-shirts and several purple business shirts, and
Well,
yes.
You know what I'm eventually going to do? I'm probably I keep the shirt, I'm going to send it somewhere and get my stream label embroidered, sewn into the shirt.
Wow, yeah, that'd be so cool. That doesn't really work necessarily for me because my stream label is my name, so it's kind of
Well, no,
weird.
like put your name on it. That way, when people see it, they're like, "Who's that?" And you're like, "That's me. That's my channel." You're putting your
Nice.
brand on your shirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that'd be cool.
Lol, purple, refraining from commenting. Go ahead, bloke. This is a civil discussion that we're having. Please feel free to comment. No holds barred. God, I miss the Attitude Era of WWE.
I
don't
could
know.
make. Are we talking about wrestling? Is that
Yeah.
what we're talking about? Well, then I got one for you. You'll recognize this one from a long time ago. So hey, Jade, you
Yeah.
like purple shirts, huh?
I do.
Do you like wearing purple shirts?
Yeah.
Do you enjoy wearing purple shirts?
Yeah.
Would you wear a purple shirt over anything else, son? And I think you know where I'm going.
No, I actually don't.
It's a quote. You'll catch it in a minute. Well, here's what I want you to do. I want you to take that purple shirt, take yourself down to Jabroni Boulevard on Know Your Role Street, turn that sumbitch sideways, and shove it straight up your candy ass. Remember that
Yeah.
one?
Those were the good old days. And how he just used to go in on Chris Jericho. They had some
Yep.
standoffs like you wouldn't believe, him and Chris Jericho. Like, he gave these mega speeches, like they were borderline presidential. Word for word perfect.
Exactly.
Borderline presidential. There's a phrase. What are your plans for excuse me, what happened to my voice? What are your plans for tomorrow, Anarchist?
Sleep, 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 and then wake up and stream.
Nice. The best life. I wish I had that life. I wish I was a streamer.
Do you take the weekend off, Anarchist, or no?
No, I don't take any day off unless I don't feel good.
Cool. That's cool.
Hey, so what have I got? Okay, guys, I got a 6:30 start. I got a 6:30 ride in the morning. Take care, Jade, Hannah, and Anarchist. That's from Bloke.
Bloke, you have a good night, dude.
You have a lovely night.
Appreciate it, Bloke. Love seeing you around. Thanks for spending a little bit of time with us. Really
Thank you
appreciate
so much,
that.
bloke.
So, Jade, when did you catch on to what I was joking about?
Yeah, it took me a long time. It's when you started to build up speed, and I'm like, yeah, that's The Rock. Yeah, because I never heard the beginnings of what he would say. It was only when you could feel the intensity building, and you knew
Oh, yeah.
that he was insulting the other guy.
Oh, yeah.
But I just remember some legendary speeches that he gave to Chris Jericho, and then to Kurt Angle, and then, you know, he gave some legendary ones to Shane McMahon.
He was the epitome of a smartass and a fast talker.
Yeah. And I remember the couple of times where he whooped Vince McMahon, you know?
I think some of the best battles were him against Stone Cold.
Oh, yeah, those were legendary. Those went for, what, an hour and a half each?
Yeah. And Stone Cold would come right back at him. He'd be like, The Rock would start in, and, you know, Stone Cold would be like, what? He'd start talking again. What? 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 Huh?
and then the audience would start interrupting anybody speaking. They would just do it whenever they felt like.
Oh, yeah. Those were the good old days.
The Attitude Era. God, I miss that. I really miss that. I really do. And I love how The Rock came back for those couple of WrestleManias. But letting John Cena win the first one was not the right move. Because that would not happen in real life.
Now Triple H has got control of the franchise, and it's just like, I don't even want to watch it.
He's still alive? I thought he would have been coked out by now.
No, he's actually married to Stephanie, and he's got control of the damn company.
He's been married to Stephanie for a while. I honestly thought that was a storyline, but I guess that's the life imitating art then, if that's a real thing.
Yeah, I think it comes on the point. He knows she's the cash cow, so he's going to stay with her.
Wow, that's rough.
I mean, it's the truth. Think about it. You get this decently good-looking girl. Her dad comes from money. She's got money. You never have to worry about money.
But he's got his own money. He's got $1 million contracts.
But here's the thing. Who's to say a man can't be a gold digger? Come on now.
Yep, okay. I'll give you that.
Think about it. If you knew that you cared about this girl and this girl was well off, and you knew that no matter what, it would plummet you into financial security for the rest of your life where you never had to worry, you wouldn't do it?
I think genuinely for me, and this is not just playing to the camera, but the feeling has to be there. I don't.
No, I mean, the feeling's there. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, wouldn't there be that? Because everybody sits there and goes, oh, I don't have ulterior motives. You've always got more than one motive when you do something.
Yeah, I see your point. I do think real love still exists, though.
Oh, my wife, definitely. I love her to death. I've loved her since we were teenagers.
Really? That's how long you've been together?
Long story short, we were together. Her parents forced her to move out of the state. She did something stupid. It caused us to break up. I got married to someone else. She got married to 2 other guys. Was on her 3rd marriage. Well, no, she was in her 2nd marriage. It went horrible. We got back together and got married.
Nice.
That is a really colorful story.
We've been told to submit our idea to the Lifetime Network or whatever. I don't know what you guys have over there, but the gushy, girly station.
Yeah, we don't really have one like that. The closest thing we have to that is Bravo, and that's from you guys anyway, so.
It might actually be something like Bravo, but yeah, it's that type of situation.
Well, good on you, because the road to love isn't always perfect, is it?
No, it is what it is.
Yeah, like I think the thing about Hollywood is this idea of, meeting your high school sweetheart and her being like a total virgin and falling in love and being together forever. It's not really a thing.
Well, it's kind of like me and her admitted, no matter what, we could never stay apart from each other. Even if it was years down the road, we'd always find one another.
And I mean, my high school sweetheart, she's like we were on and off for many years, and she's like married now, and it's like, okay, like, and I was like, she actually rang me and she said, look, I wanna invite you out to the wedding. I feel like it's the right thing to do, but at the same time, you don't have to come if you don't want to. Like that's, she thought about me in that way.
I'm gonna take my leave. Okay.
Yeah, I think I might.
Continue. It's fine.
I think I might take my leave as well.
Don't worry about it, bro. If you got to, go ahead.
Yeah, no. It is pretty late. It's 10:15 here, and I should probably get some rest. I'm going to a trampoline park tomorrow.
Oh yeah, well, you have a good night, bro, and I will see you guys tomorrow if I'm on.
Hey, can I just say, really appreciate you spending time with us and, helping develop the discussion. It really helps make streams like these be very easy. So,
man.
Thank you.
No problem, and you have a good night, man.
Yeah, I look forward to seeing that shirt. You gotta show me when it comes in.
I definitely am. All right, talk to you later.
It should be there by, Monday?
Tuesday, I think. Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. We'll talk to you then.
All right, peace out, man.
All right, bye.